afternoon. This is the City of Socorro Planning and Zoning Commission. May 3rd, 2022. It's 5:31 p.m. We call this meeting to order.
Good afternoon. Item number 2, establishment of quorum. I will be taking roll call. Andrew Arroyos,
Here.
Enrique Cisneros, absent. Ernest Gomez, absent. David Estrada,
Here.
Julie Dominguez, absent. Miriam Cruz,
Present.
Juan Vaquera, absent. We have quorum with 3 commissioners present. Item number 3, notice to the public. We have a resident present that would like to speak. Hector Ramos.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I live near, in front of New Eco Tanks Road, and there's a construction, a big construction over there. I don't know what they are doing right now, but there's a lot of noise, and sometimes when the air blow hard, the company, they throw away a lot of dirt, and they make the road dark. Sometimes it's dangerous from the drivers because they can see in front of them. So maybe you can do something to let them company know that on certain times they have to stop working, or I don't know. I just let you know that what is happening is not always, but it happened at least once a day. You know, here there are strong winds, and it's a lot of this that they are making a big hole. I don't know what's that. Thank you.
Mr. Balti, can I ask him a question?
Sure.
Around what time? Have you seen it?
Usually in the mornings and 9 or at 3, around 3, 2 or 3.
PM.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Diana, do we have anyone that would like to speak?
No, ma'am.
Moving on to item number 4, consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Do I have a
Second.
second? I have a motion made by Andrew Arroyos to approve and second by David Estrada. All those in favor of the motion, say
Aye.
Aye.
any nays? Any abstain? Motion carried. Item number 5, public hearing. Public hearing requested for the proposed amendment to the City of Socorro's master plan and rezoning of 1120 Robin Road, being track 1-A-12, Lane Clark Survey 293, ABST 6257, City of Socorro, Texas, from unclassified to C-2, general commercial, and conditional use permit requested to allow for a trucking company.
Good
Mr.
afternoon.
Arroyo?
We open public hearing at 5:35. No? So we close public hearing at 5:35.
Moving on to item number 6, consider and take action on the proposed amendment to the City of Socorro's master plan and rezoning of 1120 Robin Road, being track 1-A-12, Lane Clark Survey 293, ABST 6257, City of Socorro, Texas, from unclassified to C-2, general commercial, and conditional use permit requested to allow for a trucking company. Carlos?
Thank you, Diana. Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. Carlos Gainat with Planning and Zoning Department. As you know, these are the next 2 items are the ones that we had posted the last P&Z, but we had posted the public hearing but did not post a discussion and action. So again, for this week, we posted the public hearing. There was none for this item, as we just saw, and then this is the item for the public hearing. And with that, I'll start with just some background information. Next slide, please. This is a request to approve a rezoning at 1120 Robin Road from unclassified to C2, and a conditional use permit to allow a trucking company. So just as way of background, as you all know, there are several parcels of land within the city of Socorro that have yet to have a zoning district, right? There's a gray areas on our zoning map. They're labeled unclassified. I don't have enough history to tell you why that was the case 20, 25 years ago, but the case is that you now have property that has an unclassified zoning district. This particular gentleman came in with building plans to construct his parking lot for his trucking company. This was back in November of last year. As part of that process, we determined that he did not have a zoning district, therefore we cannot give him a use for his parcel of land, and nor did he have a subdivision plat. The subdivision plat you heard about a month ago, one or two meetings ago. That has since been recorded. So then he's able to check off one box. The next box that he needs to check off is the zoning. And so with that, again, the zoning is unclassified parcel of land is 5.25 acres. There's no future land use map as part of the comprehensive plan. The current use is vacant, and the request is to rezone to C2. And then the conditional use permit, as you all know, anytime that there's a use that's auto-related, it needs the C2 and the conditional use permit. That's why you have those two requests in front of you. And then the history is that the P&Z and City Council approved the subdivision plat 2 weeks ago, and staff is recommending approval. The location map, again, it's on Robin. This is familiar to you all by Stockyard. Here's the zoning map, so you'll see that it's gray. Everything around it is, or almost everything around it is either C2, M1, M2. You do have some yellow parcels, which is R1, but those uses are manufacturing, warehousing, C2 uses, right, that were probably there before the city enacted zoning regulations on those parcels of land. But the use is compatible, the proposed use is compatible with other uses within the area. And then the property image, again, it's just raw land right on the corner of Robin Street. Here is the aerial. Another view of the aerial. Slide. So it's near I-10 and Horizon Boulevard. The next slide, public to the notice. Notices were now. And then here's the subdivision plat, just as a point of reference. And then again, the summary of the request is a rezoning from unclassified to C2. To approve a conditional use permit to allow a trunk company, and staff is recommending approval. And with that, Mr. Chair, I'm happy to answer any questions.
I don't have any questions. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Can I
If
ask a
anybody-
question?
Go ahead, Ms. Cruz.
Thank you. Mr. Gallinard, is the applicant present today?
No, ma'am.
And do you know why? I don't think they were present at the last time either.
You know, I'm having a hard time listening to you, ma'am, or being able to hear you.
I'm sorry. I was saying that I don't think that they were present the last time that we took up their item either.
That is correct.
Do
I
you
have
know?
no idea, ma'am. I did let the applicant's engineer know that he should be here.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, that was really my only question. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
A second?
I have a motion made by Andrew Arroyos to approve, second by David Estrada. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstain? Motion carried. Moving on to item number 7. Public hearing request for the proposed amendment to the City of Socorro's master plan and rezoning of 10330 Socorro Road, Block 1, Lot 1-A, Trujillo subdivision, unit number 2, replat A, City of Socorro, Texas, from A-1 agricultural to R-1 single-family residence. Mr. Arroyos?
We open public hearing at 5:41. Nobody? So we close public hearing at 5:41.
Item number 8, consider and take action on the proposed amendment to the City of Socorro's master plan and rezoning of 10330 Socorro Road, Block 1, Lot 1-8, Trujillo subdivision, unit number 2, replat A, City of Socorro, Texas, from A-1 agricultural to R-1 single-family residence. Carlos?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Yadira. Mr. Chair and Commissioners, again, Carlos Gallinar. So again, similar situation as the 2 weeks ago. We heard the public hearing. The Alvidres family was here. They're here today, but I'll walk you through the actual case. So zoning again this is a straight up rezoning from agricultural 1 to R1. R1 being single family residential. I also want to point out for the record and for the public that this is only for remember you saw the replat, this is only for the smaller parcel of land. Everything else will remain A1. And so that's why the size of this particular parcel is only 21,000 square feet. I believe that the parcel as a whole was about 2.5 acres in size. So the future land use map has this as undefined. The land use currently is single family residential. The request is to rezone again from A1 to C1, from A1 to R1. And again, you all saw the replat a few weeks ago, and staff is recommending approval. Again, location map right on Socorro Road, and we determined it was Cubic Road, which is still a dedicated right-of-way. Here's a zoning map showing the whole parcel as A1. You do have some R2s surrounding it. You have some light commercial C1s, and then you have some residential across the street. Here's the property image. Here's the aerial. Another shot of the aerial. Public notices did go out to, again, properties within 200 feet of the subject property. And then here's the replat, and again, I want to point out that the rezoning is strictly only for the small parcel that has a single-family residential. Here's the site plan, just showing the house. It meets all the other dimensional standards. And summary, again, rezoned from A1 to R1. Staff is recommending approval and happy to answer any questions.
Go ahead, Ms. Cruz.
Thank you. The road, Cupic Road,
Yes,
the one
ma'am.
you mentioned, is that a dirt road or is that paved?
It's dirt road.
Okay. Do you know if it's on the list for city to pave?
I don't,
Do you
ma'am.
know that by chance?
I
Okay.
have no, yeah, no, I don't.
And is the applicant present today?
You know, it's the same gentleman that
Oh,
for the previous case, so he is not here.
okay, interesting. And then my last question is, did the office receive any calls in favor or against this item?
Did someone, I'm sorry, I missed the first part.
Were there any calls received by the office in favor or
No.
against?
But besides the Alvidres, anyone else? No, ma'am.
So just the family that was here last
Yes,
time and
ma'am.
that's here today? And I only mention it because on the video or for the public that's watching, they maybe don't know what we're
Yeah.
referring to, but
Yes,
thank you.
ma'am. So no, there weren't any.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I second.
I have a motion made by Miriam Cruz to approve, second by Andrew Arroyos. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstain? Motion carried. Moving on to item number 9, consider and take action on the proposed approval of a variance request to allow for a 40 feet front setback to construct a new building at Block 1, Horizon Shopping Center, point of 2 and 3, beginning 34.33 feet southeast and 52.18 feet southwest of north corner of 2, distance 159.96 on northeasterly, 226.74 feet. On southeasterly, 159.96 on southwesterly, 226.62 on northwesterly at 10600 North Loop Road, Socorro, Texas. Carlos?
Yes, ma'am. So this final item is a variance request. This is a new fast food business that wants to establish itself on North Loop. As you know, the code requires when it faces a major arterial like North Loop, it requires 60 feet front setback, and the applicant is requesting 40 feet. And I'll walk you through the case. The zoning is, they have the zoning, it's C2. The size of the parcel is 32,269 square feet. The future land use map has this as commercial. Land use currently is a commercial. It's a shopping strip center. And then again, the request is strictly for a variance on the front setback. And we are recommending approval. Here's the location map. So again, on North Loop, the parcel is it's a parcel by itself within the larger shopping center. Here's the zoning map, again, C2. Here's the property image. I think you all are familiar with it. And where that non-asphalt pad site, that's where they would put the restaurant. Here's the aerial. Here's another look at the aerial. Again, just the shopping center on North Loop. Horizon Boulevard is the closest intersection. Here is the site plan. And I'm just delineating where the 40-foot setback would be. And then just as another point of reference, here's the shopping center. The one building in the middle has a 10-foot setback. The Burger King next to it has a 40-foot setback. And then the other out parcel building has about a 35-foot setback. And then the request is the one on my left, which is highlighted in blue. And the request is for 40 feet. And again, when we review these cases, we review with other sort of similar adjacent parcels. And so in the past, there has been approval of some sort to allow those other building structures to be at 40 feet or less than the 60 feet. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Again, approval is the variance to go from 60 to 40 feet, and staff is recommending approval.
I don't have any questions. I'm actually glad that they're finally going to fill in that void
Yeah,
there in
that's
the
right.
middle, so I don't have any questions.
Thank you, sir.
Ms.
Trevor?
Cruz?
Thank you. Mr. Leonard, can you go back to the one where we were looking at Burger King and yeah, that one. The gasoline station on the corner seems like it has a much bigger setback, and maybe it's my point of view, but it seems that it's lower.
The one on the one that is the one on the right.
Correct.
I measured it using Google Earth Map, and it
Oh, they
was
have
about
no parking.
33, 34, 35 feet. So I just estimated at 35 feet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, and I'm just saying visually, it seems that it has a
Yeah.
higher setback. And that's, but maybe again, the street is, or the curve is shorter there. I don't know, right? And so my question, looking at that picture, is where that dirt pad is that where we can expect the entire building to be erected? So it's not going to go beyond where I guess the cars would be passing by, which if you're looking at the image, is a dark gray.
On my left, on my
Yes,
far left.
right, on the item that we're speaking on, right, the applicant. Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. So if I understand your question correctly, the proposed structure for the new restaurant would be on that parcel that's on the left, on my left in blue.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
And so my question is that it wouldn't be going beyond the sand looking or sand color area.
Yeah, so remember, it's not just the structure, it's the curb, it's additional parking, it's the drive-through. So the area that's in gray, that's sort of sand-looking, does not encompass the entirety of the parcel.
Okay. Okay,
So
so then,
they would fill in they wouldn't leave it as, whatever, if the building doesn't encompass that whole area, they would fill it in with asphalt, landscaping.
oh no, my concern is that they're actually, that they're going beyond that area, where they're asking for the setback. And so it looks like it's someone else's, or maybe it's the same owner, I don't know. But like you mentioned, maybe 4 slides back, that it is its own. Can you go to the one where it's just a square? One more. One more. And, okay, one more after, before that. That one. So, on North Loop, you could see that there's a different section between North Loop and that grade property.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm trying to confirm is that it wouldn't be able to obviously go beyond that, but what I'm trying to determine is if that grayed out area on this location map is the same sanded area in that other picture.
I don't believe so, ma'am. I think that the parcel is greater, the parcel property outline is greater than the sand-looking area.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And so the setback again, and I cannot tell you what that little rectangle-looking parcel is, but the setback is measured from the end of the street to the front of the building.
Okay.
So that would be still 40 feet.
Okay. So it doesn't encompass the parking lot that might be in front, or the sidewalk that might be in front of the building. It's the
So, no, I'm sorry, so it's from the property, I misspoke, it's from the property line, so it couldn't, the sidewalk, remember, is public right away. It's not part of the property.
Well, I meant like I guess the sidewalk that's in along the restaurant on the outside. I don't know what else to call it. The pathway.
Like a driveway, just a sidewalk?
Right, the sidewalk
Yes.
of the restaurant itself.
Directly outside the restaurant?
Directly outside the restaurant.
That is built inside the setback area. So the setback is from the property line
Okay.
to the front of the building. And in front of the building, you could have landscaping, you could have a driveway, you could have parking if you wanted to. I don't think they're showing parking though. I think it's just an unobstructed driveway.
But it would be,
Yeah.
if we could, can we go back to that one? And I guess that's why I'm wondering, because the picture itself, and again, maybe I'm not looking at the picture correctly, but it looks like the restaurant is basically almost getting to the sidewalk of North Loop.
So again, ma'am, it would be 40 feet. When they submit construction drawings, which they already have, and again, this is how we caught it, our building inspector will go out there and measure from the property line. The property line is over here, right? The property line can abut the sidewalk that's text out right away. So from this property line to the very front of the building should be 40 feet. And between that space, that 40-foot setback space, you can have landscaping, you can have sidewalks, you can have driveways.
So let me just confirm that dotted line, that, can you try and put the mouse over it, please, the cursor? On top, right, no, under that, yes, that. I thought maybe that was the median of North Loop, but now I'm assuming it's the sidewalk.
No, ma'am, that's the median of North Loop.
Oh, it is a median?
Yes, it is a median.
So then under that is,
So that's the median that's in the middle of the street, ma'am. That's the center line essentially. That's the center line of the street. You still have the street pavement.
and so maybe the image is just not to scale? Because-
It's to scale, it's probably just not very visible, but again, just to reiterate, from the property line to the building is 40 feet. That's what we're measuring. We're not, you don't have purview, nor are you considering anything outside of that property line.
I mean, again, I guess looking at that image, it looks like it's on the other rectangular property.
It's not, ma'am. I mean, that's just,
And it just looks like it's on top of, like, the entryway to North Loop. Looks, I mean, it's like you drive in and there's the building on the corner.
you'll have 40 feet, ma'am.
Well,
I have a question, maybe to help clarify.
Go ahead, Mr. Sala.
Can you put the cursor on the property line? Okay, so from there to the red line is going to be 40 feet?
Yes, sir, correct.
And the edge of the building, can you put the cursor on a corner of the building? Okay, can you trace the building itself right there? So that's the building,
Yes,
correct?
that's the building,
Okay, so from that red line to the sidewalk is 40 feet?
From the
And so
red
that
line-
building will not encroach into the 40-foot setback?
That is correct.
But the medium dark gray area, that's probably the parcel per meets and bounds. And so sidewalk, driveway, landscaping will and can encroach into the 40-foot all the way to where it butts into the sidewalk.
That's 100%
correct.
correct.
And so the asphalt picture that's up there showing the gray sandlot looking, that might not be an accurate cutout of the property itself that's described in meets and bounds,
That's
correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and so long as we're 40 foot from the building to the sidewalk,
Yes, sir.
then that's what you're asking us to?
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
correct. That's how you
correct.
measure the front setback.
Yes, okay.
and Mr. Estrada, I have to say, I do appreciate you stepping in, because you did make me realize that I was looking at the grayed out area on that image as the building, not the white part.
Yeah, the
So
building is much
it's much
smaller than
tinier.
the entire
Thank you
parcel.
so much.
yeah.
Oh my God, I was going crazy. So, Mr. Gallinar, what you're saying is that you caught it in the sense that, because if we're looking at that image, that's what they presented to you, but you drew that red line and said, it's gonna have to be under this red line to give you that 40-foot variance.
No, ma'am, they came in with the request. They drew the setback is 60 feet. So the setback would actually be 20 feet less than the 40 feet. But because they're, again, it's their building, they design these all over the country, they have to have circulation, driveways, they requested the 40 feet. We cannot approve a construction drawing that does not meet the zoning district requirements, therefore they're having to request a variance.
So they drew that red line?
No, I drew the red line for the purposes of the presentation, ma'am. Just to illustrate to you where the 40-foot setback is.
Okay, so again, well, now you confuse me because I thought I was getting it. So then the building will be below that red line?
The building is directly on that red line.
Oh, I see, because your red line's covering up that, okay. Ay, 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 okay. I see it now on this picture, on the backup. That looks like probably some shrubbery or whatever. I see that.
Mr. Gainat, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you, sir.
I second.
I have a motion made by Andrew Arroyos to approve, second by David Estrada. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Any nays? Any abstain? Motion carried. Moving on to item number 10, Planning and Zoning Commissioners Report.
I don't have anything. I think, I've got a question. I think we had talked about the training, right?
Yes, sir.
2 weeks ago.
So I think we can look at it. I think we might be able to fit it in. I have to follow up with the attorney. We might be able to follow in next meeting as we look through the cases. We might have one, maybe two cases next week or next P&Z. And then probably very little I mean, we have applications that just came in recently, so they're not ready to be processed for planning and zoning. So there may be a meeting there where you might not have to meet because we may not have cases as of today, right?
Yes,
But
sir.
let me look at that, Mr. Chair, and if you like, if you guys are open to it, we could probably, I think, fit it in next P&Z. Again, I think we might have one subdivision, maybe one introduction, so it'd be fairly quick. You could do the cases first and then have another hour of a presentation. But let me follow up with the attorney if that's your request, to have some sort of training at the next P&Z. That could work for us.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Moving on to item number
Sorry, I had
11.
one concern. In regards to what the gentleman spoke about at the beginning of the meeting, I remember speaking to, oh man, one of the planning directors a few years ago. And unfortunately, I don't think we enacted something like this in Socorro, but he was really familiar with Las Cruces code. And he mentioned that there was a rule where the construction people had to water while they were constructing so that there wouldn't be so much dirt flying
Yes, ma'am.
around. Do you know we have that in our ordinances?
We do. It is required, ma'am,
Okay.
to
And
keep
so,
the dust down.
okay. And so could I request that we put that on the next agenda item, or maybe just as a report back to the Planning and Zoning Commission in regards to, because it is a lot of construction happening
Yes, ma'am.
on Nuevo Tanks, I mean, on both sides with the homes and the commercial. Could we maybe get like a update as to what, if anything, we found out about if they're following the watering down the dirt,
Sure.
or if we gave them notice or whatever?
Yeah, that'd work.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. That's it.
I have nothing else.
Moving on to item number 11, Planning and Zoning Department report.
I don't have anything other than to say that we lost Eunice, who was in our department, and she left about 2 weeks ago. She got another job offer, and, you know, we miss her, we wished her well. She was a great addition to the team, but, you know, she, like anyone who is looking to get paid more and that sort of thing, so she's no longer with the department. That's why you'll see Judith and Yadira out there. But yeah, just wanted to mention that to the commission, so that's why you haven't seen her the last two meetings. Other than that, Mr. Chair, we don't really have anything. I'll follow up with you on the training, and if we're able to schedule it, we could schedule it the next meeting.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
We miss you, Eunice. She watches, I don't know.
Moving on to item number 12, excuse absent commissioner members. All absentee commissioners are called to notify absence.
I have a question. Do you guys get a chance to look at the history of the absences?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to reopen the Planning and Zoning Commissioners report so we can talk about it then.
I
Do
second.
we have to open up the Planning and Zoning Commissioners report or not? Or can we just,
You need to, because this is pertinent to the discussion of. Yeah, I think we should
To the absence. Okay,
As part of the.
perfect.
roll call.
We have a list from January 2022 to May 2022.
I'm sorry, I didn't, can you repeat the dates?
Yes, we have a list from January 2022 to May 2022.
So for this year to date?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have copies by any chance, or is it?
You could just, did you guys get a chance to like say how many? But did you guys go meeting by meeting and say on such and such date? Okay. I mean, we have those, we could type them up for you, but if you like to discuss it, are you guys able to do it now? Yeah, we don't have the copies, but you do have
So I'm interested in Mr. Gomez, right? Mr. Gomez. And so I guess Ms. Cruz will typically not excuse the absence because if they don't call in. And I agree, but usually I voted, okay, go ahead and mark the excuse. But I wanted to see like maybe go back to last year to see just the history of who's absent, how often, and so on and so forth. And if it's somebody that you know, habitually is not here, I think it's fair to open up the spot to someone else. And then the other thing I guess I want to clarify is, I think it's 3 unexcused absences in a row, and then a recommendation can be made to remove the commissioner, or how does that work?
Yes, I believe that's correct. And actually, we had a copy of the bylaws here that I was just looking at some of those items. And I can read it for you here real quick if you just give me a second. Okay, this is what it says, and if you guys want to know, it's section G under membership. It says, the Planning Zoning Commission may, upon majority vote of a quorum of voting members, recommend to City Council the removal of any appointed member if the appointed member has 3 consecutive absences which are unexcused by a majority vote of a quorum of voting members of the P and Z Commission. So you can, by majority vote, make a recommendation to City Council, and that the person needs to have at least 3 consecutive absences which were unexcused.
3 consecutive absences,
So
and
3
then
in a row,
3 in a row unexcused.
unexcused. So if they were excused for one of those,
Then it starts over. Okay. And so if a member doesn't call in, they don't email, they don't notify, I think it, you know, in my opinion, it should automatically, if there's no excuse, it should be unexcused. But, I mean, things happen. And what I'm curious with roll call is, okay, so how often does this happen? How, you know, I guess it's impossible to be here every single meeting, every single one of us, you know, and there's a lot of us missing today. But everyone called in, I'm assuming, you know, everybody called in. Did Mr. Gomez say he was going to be here? And then he wasn't able to make it for some reason. Okay. My overall thought is that if someone is not here habitually and they're absent more than 50% of our meetings or something, I think that spot should be, you know, someone else should have the opportunity to sit in that spot. That's where I'm coming from.
But I don't, so, Mr. Sala, I think you make a good point, but has anyone been, do we have any record of habitually someone not being here? I think for the most part, I think you all of you do
Yeah.
a pretty good job, right? Again, there's exceptions every once in a while, but I think from the different committees of the city, this is the better one.
Really?
That does meet, that does meet regularly,
Okay.
is responsive. Yes, really, yes.
Okay. So, and see, I don't, it just, I may be wrong. That's why I wanted to see the attendance
Well,
record.
and I'll just say, the bar isn't very high, and it doesn't mean that we should, you know, keep the bar high. We should, you know, keep the bar high, I think. And that is the reason, Mr. Estrada, why I usually vote no, is that if they haven't called to say why they're, or just to say that they're not going to be able to present themselves today at our meeting, I just don't think it should be excused. However, if they show up the next meeting or even the following, then there shouldn't be any repercussions, because that's what, as right now, the bylaws, how they read. But if we excuse it and excuse it again, then we can't have them face consequences, because that's not what the bylaws say. So, again, that's the reason why I vote no if they did not call to excuse themselves. Whether it's 1 time, whether it's 2 times, we might as well just get it on the record and then go from there. That's how I feel. And if you don't mind, I think because since they already looked up the information, I wouldn't mind them reading into the meeting, you know, who, for this year, how many absences each member has, if that's okay?
And this might help. So they kind of have some unofficial notes here that I think they look back through the minutes and everything, but I'll just let you know on this particular question on Mr. Gomez. It appears that he was not present on January 18, April 19th, which I believe was the last meeting, today, May 3rd, but he did show up at some meetings in between. So there's, right now with him, 2 consecutive, I believe, unexcused absences. So if this is something you guys want to consider, at the next meeting, you can see if he does show up or if he does have an excused absence. If not, after that meeting, I think you can consider if somebody wants you to make a motion to make a recommendation to the council. And I think probably in between, you know, if you've got other questions on attendance, they can go through it. The sure way to verify it is the minutes from the last meeting, because that shows you who was there, who was not there, who was excused, who was unexcused. The other few names I see, I think, Ms. Julie Dominguez was not there on March 1, March 15th. But then she did show up at a few other ones, and then she did not show up, I guess, today. But she called in. That's the only other names I see that are kind of consecutive enough. Everybody else has kind of shown up at different meetings.
And so, but when this item calls for excusing them, so if we've excused them, then that's considered an excused
That's
absent. Right.
That's right. So you can't count them, you know, absent if you excused it. Today, for instance, since there's four people not present, if you want to excuse some but not excuse the others, just make it clear in your motion right now that I'm making a motion to excuse the absences of this person, that person, and not excuse these people. So that was kind of clear.
So do I have a motion to excuse 3 commissioner members?
3 commissioners or 4?
Yeah, why would you exclude one? There's 4 total. Or just say to make a motion to excuse absent members. And then they could tell you which ones they don't want to excuse.
Do I have a motion to excuse absent members?
I agree with Mr. Estrada. I'd like to make a motion to excuse everybody, and then maybe in the next one, if everybody's present, then bring it up then and
What if they're not?
talk about it.
You know what I mean? What if they're not?
It's the same thing. We're just bumping it to the next.
We are.
meeting.
We talked about it last time. We asked, what's everyone's records?
Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion to excuse, everybody can make.
Okay. I'm going to second.
I have a motion to excuse commissioner members made by Andrew Arroyo, second by David Estrada. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
No.
nays?
No.
Any abstain? Motion carried.
Yeah, but they
Item number 13, consider and take action on the adjournment of this meeting. Do I
Make
have a motion?
to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion made by Miriam Cruz to adjourn, second by Mr. Arroyos. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Any nays? Any abstain? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 6:15.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Thank you.